Speed bunny, bold like a bird on the wing, onward the sailors cry. Carry the lad that's born to be king, over the sea to sky.
Adrian. He is wearing one of the green onesies that I think Rebecca gave him. He looks so handsome. And he has a piece of the mail. He looks so handsome. Where's your face? Let me see. You looking at some Geico insurance, buddy? You looking at some Geico insurance? Here you go. You can have it back. Here you go. You can have it back. Oh my goodness. So what we had to do with a lot of the P.O. Box stuff, because it was just a lot of stuff, and the kids would they thought it was Christmas, and it was awesome, and we are so thankful, but we're kind of putting a little bit of it, like some of the crafty stuff, we're kind of putting that away, just because they'll rip into all of it all at the same exact time, and then there won't be any like regulation to it, and they'll play with it all, they'll get burned out on it all, and then they'll be done with it. So what I really wanted to do is kind of stagger the release of some of these toys, like if they've been really good, you know, like, okay, and I have it's like a treasure box, but I'm calling it a viewer box. So when they're really good and they do a chore, they can look in the viewer box and pick something out that one of you guys gave them, and it is just awesome. And of course I gave Aiden all of his, and Narquise has his, you know, and they got to pick like some, I don't know how to explain it. They get some things, they don't get everything all at the same time. So that's just how we have to work it, just because, I don't know, I don't want them to feel entitled. I don't want them to feel like, oh wow, I get all of this stuff, you know, and I get to just play with it all at the same time. And I want them to understand where it came from, that it came from people who love and appreciate them and watch our videos, and I just really want them to understand. You know, I don't want them to think that they're just getting random gifts in the mail. I want them to know where they came from and why people love them and are sending them things. So I hope that makes sense. I didn't want you guys to look around in some of the vlogs and wonder like, oh, well, where's this that I gave them, or where's that? We do have it all. I'm just staggering their release a little bit. They got to open it all last night, but it's been a little crazy, I'm not gonna lie. So they like they picked the crochet little animals to keep out, and they've been playing with those all day long. And they have a few little activity books that they're playing with, and the rest of it I put in a little box, and they'll get it over time. They'll get it. It's no big deal. Anyways, what was I talking about? Oh, the house, you guys. So Zoe and my husband went to go pick up those like gaming cards or whatever. It's like 2 hours away, so they'll be gone at least 4 hours, minimum 4 hours. And I'm gonna jump in the shower, and then I'm just gonna clean up the house because it so needs it. I'm not even gonna show you guys because it is like the disaster that it normally is in the vlogs. It's about 1,000 times worse. Can't even lie. I have a lot of work to do. I don't want to do any of it though. So my husband got home and we have, what are these things called? Magic of the Gathering cards? Is that what they're called?
Magic the Gathering.
Magic the Gathering cards. We know nothing about them, but we have about 20,000 of them. And our goal is to hopefully sell as many of them as we can and get some money for the adoption. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit of this insanity. Oh, there's some insanity on the floor. I dropped it. So, what is this one? Gerard. Anyway, we have a ton of these. There's over 20,000 of these cards that my husband has brought home. What do you have to say for yourself?
Whoops.
And then, let's see. And then there's a bunch of like unopened packs as well. And then in here, there's a bunch of unopened packages. And then all of these are cards. All of those are cards. That's not even half of them, you guys. All of these are cards. That whole box. All of that right there.
Everything in the boxes are cards.
How do you know there's 20,000? Is that just an estimate? Or did someone actually count them?
Mm-hmm. He counted.
Wow. Okay, so there's about 20,000 cards. We're currently on the hunt for the Black Lotus because apparently that is worth like 44,000?
Depends how it's graded.
We're not going to find a Black Lotus. Like, they are ultra rare, and I don't think we have the right years for it either, so.
Nope.
We'll see, but hopefully this will give us a little bit of money to put towards getting Priscilla home. You know, we've got Zoe writing down prices. She looks so cute.
She actually is $279.
$279. Okay, then we have, oh gosh, Senjire Vampire, SEN.
2.79.
GIR.
What?
Space Vampire.
Oh.
What is she confused about?
279.
7, 9.
I'm gonna turn this way. Okay, guys, so let's get real for a minute. Let's have a talk. I'm gonna open this. Does that help at all? The lighting? I don't think so. Man, y'all, my van sounds so much better. Anyway, I really wanted to address this because it's been asked quite a bit, and it's not like it's an unreasonable question or that it's illogical, and it doesn't upset me at all that people are asking it because it's the same question and concerns that family has expressed to us and friends and basically everybody. And this is just a comment that was on my Facebook page. This is no, like, I'm not talking bad about this person that asked this question because I think she was very nice about it and she was just asking, you know, and I think a lot of people really want to know. So I definitely do not take offense to these types of questions at all. But basically, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but she said, basically, she's concerned for the children that God has already given me, and how are we going to accommodate having a fifth child when on a daily basis I already seem, or appear in the vlogs, I guess, overwhelmed and burdened by the 4 that we already have. Like, what would make us decide when we already have our plate overflowing to put more on top of it? It's just such a difficult question to answer, and I think I responded pretty well, but there's still, like, you know, questions about it. And you know, it's true, our lives definitely are not going to get any easier bringing a 5th child into our family. And I'm getting a lot of questions of how do we know that God has called us to this child, and there's so many factors that have gone into it that I personally just can't really delve into just in the daily vlogs. I really should do a totally separate video on this, but I did want to address it. So we know that Narkis and Aiden very well may always be with us. They may never leave the house. They may never live independently, specifically Aiden. We know this. We may never be empty nesters. They will always be with us. That's something that we accepted before we even set out to adopt them. You know, God just calls you to the impossible sometimes. The impossible. People are looking at me like I'm crazy. And, you know, I think that, I think it's okay. You know, I'm moved this way because I want to see if this guy's gonna like stare at me like I'm crazy. It's okay, I can be crazy. The weird thing is though, I'll be vlogging in the parking lot and people will see me, and then I'll go in the store to like actually do my grocery shopping, and they'll see me and they'll kind of look at me really weird because they just saw me in the parking lot talking to a camera. What was I talking about? I just totally lost my train of thought. Sometimes God calls you to the impossible. He really does. And you just have to take a leap of faith. We believe that God has called us to be so much more and to live for so much more than having that comfortable suburban life, you know, where you, I don't know, we just feel like He's called us to do more. As Christians, we are God's hands and feet. And as such, it is our job to do these things, you know. If He calls, then it's your job to go. You have to go. He doesn't call everybody, you know. Your mission field may not be orphan care, or it may be orphan care, but it may be only to advocate for orphans or pray for them or any other myriad of things. For us, the Lord has called us to adopt. We don't know how many times He's going to call us to adopt, but we take it one adoption at a time, and right now we know that He has called us to little Miss Priscilla. You know, there are going to be those moments of great frustration and angst and worry and fear. All of that plays into it. We do not have a super easy life. Our lives are hard and complicated, and yeah, on a daily basis, I'm always overwhelmed with one thing or another. However, when the day is done, I know that I am walking in the path that the Lord has laid before us. And to us, that is the most important. I don't know. We had rather adopt and bring home a child than get a new car, or then redo our house, or, you know, whatever. And as long as we can still provide for the rest of our family in the manner that they deserve, and as long as our other children aren't going to suffer for it, we figure, why not? If God calls, we go. You know, we said when we left Ukraine with the boys, as we were getting on the plane to fly back home, my husband and I looked at each other and we said, we're leaving our daughter behind. We knew that even then. We knew that there was a little girl that was still there that was meant to be in our family. We knew that. And it was just a gut feeling. We knew that the Lord would not bring us on that journey and speak to our hearts in that manner for us to not be motivated to go do it again. And we're doing it again. We never expected to do it again this soon. When I tell people I'm about to have 5 children, they're just like, what? Why would you want 5 kids? You know, but I don't know. How can you not? How can you not? There's so many concerns. I don't know. I don't even know. And Julie, I love you so much. I look up to you and I watch your vlogs, and gosh, you just give the best advice, and because you are my future, you know, you are where we will be in, you know, 10 plus years. And I just look up to you so much, and I love all of your concerns, and they are all legitimate, every last one of them. And I hope that you all know that they are all things that we have considered. Not a single stone has been left unturned in terms of figuring out what is best for our family and whether or not to pursue this adoption. It is going to be hard, and yes, we have to take care of ourselves, and there's going to be days where we are in the trenches, the very, very bottom of those trenches, and we can't dig our way out. That's the way it was after we brought the boys home. There's going to be moments when it's not fair to our girls. Our girls are going to have times when they're not going to be able to go do something because their siblings are disabled and they can't go do those things, or, you know, it's just life. But at the end of the day, we hope that we are teaching our 2 typically developing girls, because this is another big concern, is how is it going to affect Zoe and Piper? We hope that our girls realize through all of this, and they probably don't right now. They are young. They are 4 years old and 6 years old. I don't expect them to understand the gravity of all of this right now, but I hope that in the long run, when they look back on their childhood, they see how much adoption is of God, and that we followed our hearts and just followed the path the Lord laid before us. And I would pray that they would likewise do the exact same thing. Oh, it would be so easy just to say no and not do it, and to keep living a comfortable life. And we have just now been able to find our new normal. Like, we are just now, after almost 2 years home, finding our new normal. Like, things are fairly easy. They're not super chaotic all the time. And we're just taking that and throwing it away, you know? It's like taking the life that you once had. Not that it's a bad life, not that it's a life that's not worth it, you know, but it's like taking your old life and just chunking it in the garbage, because that's how drastically these kids are changing our lives, and it's for the better. I hope you guys see that it's for the better, despite the messy house and the doctor's appointments and the hospital stays and the therapies and just the general daily grind that comes with it. I hope you guys see the joy, and I hope you see that the joy outweighs the bad and the hard times almost all the time. The joy is always there. And never once have we looked at our boys and regretted adopting them. Never once have we said, oh God, what have we done? You know, there may have been a moment or two before we left Ukraine. I'm not gonna lie. There was probably a moment or two before we left Ukraine that we were like, oh my gosh, we've lost, what have we done? But, you know, God quickly grounded us and set us in the right path. You know, God says, the Bible calls us to care for orphans and widows. He calls us to care for the least of these. And that's just what we're doing. That's just what we're doing. This is our mission field. Everyone has a mission field. Your mission field may be helping the poor, or helping kids at school, or, I mean, it could be any number of things, but everyone has a mission field that God has given you and made you passionate about. If you're passionate about something that is helping others, that's your mission field. Go do it. Don't say no. Life is too short. Life is too short. And we were meant to do so much more with our lives. When my life is said and done, when I'm 80, hopefully when I'm 80 years old, laying in a hospital bed, you know, about to take my last breath, I hope I can look back on my life and see that it was a life well lived, that it was a life lived glorifying God, and that I didn't have any regrets, that if I felt God pulling us to do something that finances and our being, you know, maybe being too young or scared or terrified even, I would hope that I could say those things did not stop us, that we did it anyway, and we did it because we knew that the Lord was calling us. A lot of you are asking how we know that God called us to Priscilla in the first place, and why her, and oh, that's a whole other issue. I'm talking too much. There's people staring at me, you guys. Really, you guys can't see. You guys don't see when other people look at me weird when I'm sitting around vlogging or vlogging in public. Sometimes you just have to not care. But a lot of you have asked, well, why didn't you adopt Kanani? I had shared another, you know, the other little girl that I had shared a while back that was really on my heart, and so many other children that I've advocated for. Why would I not adopt one of them, you know? I don't know. We didn't choose the child that the Lord called us to. We prayed so hard, and there was no doubt that this was our daughter. And we heard her story, and it's just like with Aiden. I saw Aiden's picture, and it was like, boom, no doubt, that's my son. I have to get him home. And it worked out. God had already gone before us and paved the way. I still will look at Aiden and Narquise and be like, wow, just from looking at a little photo listing on the internet and feeling that unmistakable pull that God was telling us they were our sons. They're here, and they really are our sons, and they were a part of a family, and they are loved, and it's amazing. It amazes me every single day, and knowing that we're doing it again, yeah, it's scary. It's super scary, but it's also exciting and wonderful and beautiful. And I hope that our family, even though some people in our family don't see that right now, I hope that in time they do. I hope they see this great renewal that is happening, not only for the children we're adopting, but for our whole family. My husband and I are better people because we've adopted these children, and our daughters are more giving and loving, and they're more grateful. The gratitude is just above and beyond because they know where their brothers came from, and they're so grateful. And you know, it's just gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. We have so much faith that it's all good. Anyway, I'm gonna quit rambling. I hope I made sense. I really hope I answered some of your questions and didn't just sound like a big hodgepodge of words that actually didn't make any sense. It made sense in my head. Just know that. Know that what I just explained made sense in my head. Anyway, I'm gonna go in to the grocery store and I'm gonna get a few things. I've got to get some Ensure and some cereal type of stuff for the week, because Sunday nights are kind of crazy nights in our house, just because I have to get stuff for lunches and snack all week long. And my husband is at home. He's supposed to be in charge of the casserole that I have in the oven, so I'm gonna see if that casserole is burnt by the time I get home. Alright, we just finished with dinner, and I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go for the day, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye guys.
Loud the winds howl, loud the waves roar, thunderclaps rend the air. Baffled our foes stand by the shore.